Hello there.
That's about as much energy as I've got today. I just remember this is an audio format. I waved for anybody who's just listening.
It was a nice wave. And I'm sick. I don't know if you can hear it.
Lily's sick. I'm tired. It's a good day.
It's a good day. Do you want to introduce our podcast, my dear?
Sure thing. Hi everyone. Welcome to all the films we judged before. I'm Katie. That's lovely Lily Kay.
And not Troy Baker, and that's the wonderfully splendid other way, Katie.
We are just doing great today.
Today's the day. This is gonna be the best episode ever. You know, I feel like Phoebe from Friends when she was sick and she had that really nice rusty voice.
Oh right, yeah,
she kept trying to get back the sexy voice. That's me today. But anyway, we have a very special guest today who was already on our show, but he's back and he's gonna pour all his wisdom on us, and we're gonna listen and try to be as wise as him. So welcome, Elliott. This is
as wise as me. Oh, we're in for a long show here, aren't we?
You've caught us on a very good day.
Oh God.
This is brilliant. Hopefully listeners, hopefully I can carry the energy and help Lily and Katie through this one. I'm here as a guardian angel for you both.
Just
as
carry the episode.
Delve deep into the MCU.
We're just gonna give you all the hosting powers and everything.
You can just say stuff. I'm gonna just have enough.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome to all the films we've judged before. Today's MCU episode will be hosted by me, guest star Elliott from the YouTube channel Hakuna MaChatter. I'd like to thank our lovely Lily and Katie for having me on today. And make sure you are in the comment section letting us know all your favourite MCU characters, MCU films, and which project you're looking forward to most in Phase 4.
This is great.
How's that? Is that right?
Perfect.
Right?
I think we're done.
You're hired.
Yes.
Yes. So you already kind of introduced yourself, but do you want to introduce your channel a little bit?
Sure.
Because we already talked about you when you weren't here, but now you're here, so you can talk about yourself.
Yay! And who doesn't love to talk about themselves? Hi guys, so I'm from the channel Hakuna MaChatter. It is a diversity and representation discussion channel, obviously in film and television. So I talk all the things, I try and be as positive as I possibly can about diversity and representation. There's too much negative stuff on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, yada, yada, yada. So I try to be that little beacon of positivity that says, hey, actually hiring Tessa Thompson to play Valkyrie was freaking amazing. Actually, what Brie Larson said about the press was the best thing possible, and so on and so forth. You get what I mean. I also don't, I don't know. Yeah, we get political. We don't get political. We have fun.
Everything's political.
I was going to say we don't have fun, but we always have fun.
Yeah,
so.
Don't say that.
So, like, why are you doing it if you're not having fun? So.
Oh, yeah. I love your videos, then. It's like, I think it's the most important thing that needs to be talked about more. So I'm glad that I have a friend who actually is doing it. It's like, breath of fresh air. Honestly. So
no, but it's fun.
Great. It is. And it's important, and it's actually really good to talk about it. Like, I'm gonna go on to the next question, because then we can talk about other kind of movies before we get into MCU. The question is, what were you watching last week?
What was I watching last week? Well, I guess it's... Well, I'll talk about what I watched most recently, which has kind of popped to my head. I finally managed to watch Sound of Metal with Riz Ahmed and Olivia Cook.
I've heard really good things about that.
Yeah, I got kind of lucky, and a friend of mine who had a link in America who's able to pass it on to me, and so I was able to watch. And I mean, it lives up to the hype. It's great. It's so much fun.
Great.
I mean, I say that loosely because it's not necessarily a fun story. Like it's very intense. It's very it's kind of difficult to watch in a way because it's quite engulfed in his character's pain of what he's going through, and it tries to offer this beacon to the character, and the character just rejects and rejects and rejects and rejects the easy way out, essentially. So yeah, it's great work from Riz Ahmed, great work from Olivia Cook, Paul Raci as well. He has one scene just sort of towards the end of the film, Paul Raci, and whew, like it's one of those performances where he just perfectly holds everything back, but it's screaming out through his eyes at the same time. So yeah, incredible film. Like as soon as it does come out here in the UK, be that cinemas when they open or Amazon Prime, which it already is on Amazon Prime in the US, just give it to us on Amazon Prime here. Yeah, it has to be watched. Has to be watched.
Oh yeah, I am definitely interested in it, so I will check it out once it arrives.
Apparently, it's out at the end of the month here, 26th of March.
Okay.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah, no, I recommend everyone get it, and especially as well if you want.
No, bless you.
Bless you. And on a diversity and representation standpoint, it's really great representation for the deaf community, because all the characters who are hearing impaired in the film are played by deaf actors and hearing impaired actors. So yeah, which is really, it brings that next level of authenticity to that film, and just makes it more visible and normalizes it within society, as all good representation should do. So
yeah, it's good to hear, especially after horrendous movies like Music.
Yeah, I've not watched that, and for reasons of what you've told me, of what the same friend who helped me with Sound of Metal, what he's told me about it as well. But he was on my podcast on your weekend watch list 2 weeks ago, and he spoke about it then. Josh, yeah.
Like I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't watch it, but then I read a thread about like some of the stuff within it, and I can't even. Yeah. It's so awful.
Yeah,
it is. Well, I watched it. I made the mistake and I watched it, but I was I don't know. I was just like interested to see if it's really as bad as everyone says it is, and then literally in the first 5 minutes you're like, what?
I watched a little bit from the opening sequence, and it's like, oh, good. So this is just a caricature of what you think autistic people is like. Then I see, huh?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's
Did you see Tina Fey and Amy Poehler's opening speech for the Golden Globes?
I did hear that they I feel a bit weird about that whole thing though, because I mean, Golden Globes is a little horseshit anyway.
I mean, right. especially the way that it was kind of governed this year as well. But yeah, no, they left a nice little segment for music in their opening speech.
I didn't realize that Leslie Odom Jr. was in it until I saw a poster, and I was like, oh no, Leslie, why?
I know, right?
Yeah,
I know.
It's
thankfully, I think One Night in Miami will carry him through for enough time that people will just gloss over music for him.
Probably, hopefully. Well, not hopefully.
The complete lack of like willingness to understand what autism is like. It just astounds me on a regular basis.
But isn't it with it like it's not even just how they displayed what it looks like, just like the makeup of the film. Like, because Sia said it was supposed to be for people with autism, and yet apparently loads of people saying the way that it was
massively sensory overload.
Yeah. That it would just be actually unwatchable for people with autism. So you're just like,
message for the internet: stop paying attention to Autism Speaks. They're a terrible fucking charity. They're not run by people with autism.
No,
they're just run by a bunch of people who think they know better. There are better charities for autistic people out there with better resources who are actually run by autistic people.
Yeah, it's God. It doesn't even deserve any time to talk about it, other than don't watch it, don't support this horseshit, because it's awful. It's just simply awful. But I did watch other things as well, thank God. Even though one of them, well, both of them seriously pissed me off, so it's not better.
Interesting. Good stuff. You've had a good week.
I did. I watched I Care a Lot, which I was really excited for. And well, it halfway through, I got so pissed off by that movie. I was like, I can't believe this film. I can't believe that they're gonna put this in here. I was in just like shock that they would turn the story like this. And then literally, I even tweeted it out. Literally, the last 2 minutes that saves the film. But that last 2 minutes, that saves it, and that's it. But other than that, it's like, this could have been such an amazing movie, and then it just went downhill, and then the last 2 minutes just came back up, and I'm like, why? Just, I had the same rage that I had for Gone Girl. it was the same rage. And
this
now
makes
I'm
me think I'm gonna
suspicious.
like this movie.
I kind of
It's not that I
feel that
didn't-
too.
It's not that I didn't like it, because obviously it's really well done and everybody in it is fucking great. Rosamund is excellent. Peter Dinklage is excellent. Everyone is excellent in there. But it's just like, I will let you watch it and then we can talk about it later on. But it seriously pissed me off. In the middle point, I was like, no, just no. Why?
I mean, from what I
It
know
was
about
so
the
smart.
concept of it seems like it should piss you off at some point. Like it's intentionally
Sure.
so it's doing
But
its
they
job
like
properly.
it's well, the whole concept of it is already very, like, it just makes you go ugh. But then they like add 2 other layers to that, and it's just mind-blowingly frustrating, so frustrating. It's like, no, no, you don't do
Brilliant.
this. And then the other thing that pissed me off, I actually watched it yesterday. It's Amy Poehler's new movie, Moxie. And again, it starts off so great. It like the whole message that it carries is excellent, and then just it just decides to go downhill by the end, and then at the end it brings it up again. So it's like, I don't know, it was a weird week for movies, I'm not gonna lie. But like, again, the message is so great in there. I freaking love the message. Even though I have a question, why is it that Lucy, who's the protagonist of this film, instead of Vivian? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense for me. That's the question I have. And then the other thing is that Vivian does some really messed up shit during the movie, especially at the end, and she just still gets away with it. And I feel like that that fact just takes away from the message of the movie. So I'm like, I'm just sitting here thinking about that brilliant ending, and then there's the middle part that just like, just why? Why are you doing this? And Amy Poehler is excellent in it, and she has a great sense in directing as well. So it's once again, I feel like it's a little bit of a hit and miss situation for me. Like, could have been a lot better.
Empire gave it 4 stars, so I'm ready to give it a go.
I'll definitely watch it. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just it's actually just one scene that pissed me off like really badly, and I'm like, that's not okay. Like, I don't like that you put that in here and make it okay by the end of the movie. I don't like that. But once again, we're gonna talk about it once you guys watch it. Both films are good. I'm not gonna say they are bad movies, but yeah, I might be just at the edge of always getting triggered now. I don't know. It's the sickness, guys. I'm sick. I get triggered by everything. God knows, or I'm just getting old. That's the other option. I don't have better answers.
Now, surely
Katie,
the older we get, the more accepting we get of things. Isn't that how it works? That's how it was in my day, so whatever. Isn't that what's supposed to happen? Don't know.
I don't know, Elliot. At this point, I'm not sure, or I'm just weird, which you already knew I am. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, look, I'll be joining the 30 club in May, so I'll be able to. I'll get more insight then, I suppose. So.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Don't worry. We have to wait for Katie a little bit longer, but we're gonna.
I'm
get
turning
into
24 this year.
Oh, fuck you. Katie, don't talk. Yes, do talk. Tell us what you watched.
I have been going back to some old stuff actually. I watched a season of Parks and Rec because it's on Netflix now,
Nice.
and I was just like, it's easy to put on and just have on whilst I'm poking about on my phone or what have you, because it's just easy watching and it's still wonderful because it's Parks. And I've been rewatching Full Metal Alchemist. Which I haven't done in freaking ages, but I kept getting these videos, like clips from Brotherhood, pop up on my YouTube, and I was like, yeah, I can watch this again. So I've been kind of putting an episode or two on every so often. Man, that was really good. I don't really watch anime. In fact, I've seen a total of 3 full animes. One of them's Full Metal Alchemist, one of them's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and the other one's Oran High School Host Club. And I've seen none else. And I watched them all for Travis Willingham. That was it. But yes,
bad deal.
Full Metal's great. And I was my friend.
It is great.
My best friend just watched it through all of it, and now I can actually talk to her about it properly when I have more thoughts and feelings poking back through. But I haven't really been watching anything else. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch with my friends.
Nice.
It's also fair.
Nice.
Also fair deal. All right, then let's get into our theme for today, which is the MCU. And, I gave the title of how MCU changed the cinema. And I would like to hear your opinion about that. Am I right to say that, or am I wrong? Let's start with Elliot. What do you think?
I suppose it's changed it in the way that you can have this incredible built-up franchise supported by different stories that will eventually bleed into one. I think that there are so many other studios and other franchises that have kind of begun to try and do that. We see how many times has Universal tried to start up their dark universe.
You mean the Dooku?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and just absolutely fail. Then there's the DCEU as well. That I think they've just kind of given up and they're going, you know what, we just make whatever we feel like making, and I'm kind of glad they've just kind of gone down that path now. It's like we'll just make whatever we fancy at the time. But then even like Star Wars, I suppose, Star Wars has kind of always done that in a way that it's kept everything on that timeline, and when it introduces something new, it finds a way of putting it into that timeline. But we now know with the announcements from Disney Investors Day that Star Wars is going to have new Rangers of the Republic and Ahsoka, which are going to fit into the Mandalorian as well. So, they're kind of, even they're starting to open their actual, looks like, we have 3 roads that are going to merge into one sort of thing. Whereas before it was everything just sort of slotted in where it could. So I guess you could say that it's, that's the MCU has changed cinema for that reason. And, do we sit back now and watch who is going to be that competitor that is going to come in and go, right, well, you've built an all paths lead into one franchise. Now we're going to do it as well. So, there are hints of it here and there as to who's going to do it actual. I guess we'll wait to find out. But you kind of feel that that's got to be the way to go, surely.
I don't know if anybody else can. And only because Disney owns everything now. I'm seriously, I think that any big studio that may have had the potential to make some kind of big extended universe got bought by Disney. So they own basically all the properties at this point. I think the only one that's kind of left is Sony, and Sony has Spider-Man, so it's still Marvel.
Well, that's it. Look, The Walking Dead have tried to do it in a way, have tried to have multiple branches of a franchise. Look, I know it's not worked. Even the main show is filtered off a while back.
No, I just more mean it's not really the same. I think we were talking about it again in terms of
well, and here's
cinema.
the thing.
No.
I mean, nothing will be the same because it will now be compared to the MCU. Like it might have set the bar, but yeah, I mean, you're right. What does have the room even to compete with it, let alone the power? So
I think
the only thing that maybe
do it.
With what?
Bye, I guess.
Yeah, this for the guys only listening, there was just a massive shrug and shake of the head with all three of us.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, Netflix can buy a lot of things, so
I think Netflix,
if they would like to start a franchise, I think they could.
Netflix kind of is the last sort of. Netflix and Amazon have kind of the last sort of bastions of being able to create lots of original content and put it out themselves without having to worry about, distributors, which is I think the big thing.
Yeah.
I think the really big thing is that the MCU kind of completely homogenized the distribution industry when it comes to cinema, because you don't get movies, independent IPs now, or original IPs don't play as well in the market just because people go and watch these movies because they're huge and there's a bunch of them and they're almost always out.
Yeah.
So you just don't my local cinema is independent, but even then it's not often that there's like a lot of sort of smaller films on there because they have to still play to what's going to sell tickets. And these sell tickets. There's a reason why the biggest movie in the world.
And they have the star pool as well now as well.
Exactly.
So not only do they have the name, they have the actors there as well, and directors too. Look how many people are now getting really interested to see Chloe Zhao and Nia DaCosta directing in there as well. So it's got that firm pull on it, and the fact that they're looking for Captain Marvel 2 to hire so it's rumored that they're trying to hire a John Boyega, Michael B. Jordan type for Captain Marvel 2. So yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, look, other studios will be able to compete in a way for the space. It's, can they compete to make such a massive interconnected story? And I don't know if they can. I think mainly because you're going to need someone as unique as Kevin Feige to be there, I guess. And the way that he is, the fact that he came from the sort of humble beginnings of being a producer on the Spider-Man Raimi films and a load of the films around then to now just literally change cinema.
Yeah. I think what the MCU did so well is how they work ahead. Like they already had a plan when they started it, and they stick to that plan, and it works. And whenever it always comes up in these conversations, but whenever I have a conversation with someone who loves DC and protects it with all their lives, look, I love DC as well. What I always try to explain is that they just don't take the time that it's needed, and I think that's where they go wrong, because they see the success. Marvel suddenly became more successful than them, and they are like, they scared. They are like, oh my god, we should just bring together all our big names, Superman, Batman, everyone. Just let's just bring them all together. It doesn't matter that they don't have a separate story, which it could work, I guess, but then for that you would need like a really, really strong script and a really mindful director. And I like Zack Snyder, but come on. And I think
it kind of did work though, didn't it? Like, putting all those names into one film, people, we went to the cinema to watch it. Like, people went, and you look at, but I think what it only really played to better was the die hard fans. And I think I think for me at least, that's what we're seeing with the Snyder cut as well, is that it is that the die-hard fans are getting really pumped for it, and obviously brought it into existence, so to speak, as well. So
yeah. I mean, that's true, and I don't know. I honestly wish them luck because I do like the DC films as well,
Yeah.
to a certain level, and I think I love the direction that they took with Shazam, for example. I really like that. Wonder Woman, the first one was great. So they have the potential. I think they just need to slow down a little bit, just take it back a little, and then you're gonna be good. And I think that was the downfall of the monster universe as well, because obviously they went for the same team as Marvel
Yeah.
went for, because it's the Mummy, and then suddenly Dr. Hyde is there, and it's like they are building the universe, and I'm like, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, build it up better. Come on.
The
And they had
downfall
big names.
of the Mummy movie was that it was a bad movie.
It was.
But the thing about the Mummy movie is that it was a bad movie that had like just these amazing glimmers of potential within it. Like,
Yes.
I remember watching that film being like, this bit's interesting. Oh, you've gone back to being really bad again. What is going on with this script?
It was all over the place. That was
Like, there were moments of it, and I was like, this is quite good. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, no, it's bad again.
It went back to being bad.
The dialogue just suddenly went, no, we're just going to be real terrible now. It's like I don't mind a bad movie. You could just look at it and be like, this is bad. When a bad movie is bad because like there are parts of it that are good and the rest of it is bad, I just kind of go, well, what the fuck happened? What did you do? How many people looked at the script and went, this definitely is cohesive? Because it wasn't.
Two.
I feel like it's more likely to be like, it got passed from about 10 different people and then
probably.
Also, there we go. I went out of focus. I suddenly was like, my eyes go. I'm fine.
We can see you. It's all good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I honestly wish that more franchises could do it, and I think the only one who can do it other than Marvel is Star Wars, as it was mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, do we need any of them to do the same as Marvel? Do we need every single franchise to have a big, massive, interconnected story? I think maybe the fact that Star Wars are going to do it on a localized part of their time map might, that will play out well for it, I think. But you'd even look at like the excitement now around the Avatar studios coming forward now as well for The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra.
Oh, that Avatar.
Yeah, that Avatar. No,
not the 5 promised sequels to Avatar that still haven't materialized.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but that's not gonna. They're not gonna make films and shows that are gonna, or maybe they will, that go, hey, look, here's this guy, and now boom, they're all. I don't think that they'll do that. I think that what we'll get from them is we'll get maybe some shows that, like, well, I don't know, I'm hoping that we'll get from them, I think is a better way of putting this, is that we'll get shows that pinpoint into some of the secondary characters from both the TV shows and make them a lead in their own right. And maybe we'll get a new Avatar, or maybe we'll delve deeper into the other avatars we haven't we haven't seen as much of, like Roku and Kyoshi and maybe Yancha. It's endless. There's thousands of years of avatars that we could just go, all right, let's have a look at that one. So maybe we just have to, maybe the other franchises just need to go, right, look, that's what Marvel are doing. It's too late to kind of catch up with them now. The only really and truly for me, it's going to have to be a completely new franchise that, that will probably have to be an original IP, but then as Katie says, it's just going to be so difficult for that to land in this market. So if we have any current franchises, I say just stick in your lane and do what you're doing and be different, so that you're not pegged as a copy.
I don't know if I want another franchise. I think I'm bored of the really long and extended sort of story thing, and I don't really care about it unless Marvel's kind of doing it, to be honest. Because I
Yeah,
feel like
I
Marvel
get
did
you.
it genuinely so well. Like even when they were like, here's all the stuff we're doing for phase 4 of the MCU, and I was kind of like, do we need to keep going? You kind of did it and kind of nailed it. And then WandaVision came out and I went, all right, you might have something interesting going on.
Yeah. Right. It just suddenly switched.
I'm
And I think also the
listening.
fact that we were a year without any content from them as well. I think that
God.
just,
Yeah, I really
and then
want
to ease us back in with something like WandaVision was perfect.
I kind of want to pump the brakes on just like completely homogenized sort of franchise building, because we were getting literally 3 Marvel movies a year as we were going through, and it's like I kind of just want to leave space for some people to just do some weird shit and be like, here's a fucking strange action movie we made. Maybe this will work. And some people might be like, this is great, or this is terrible. And they go, okay, we guess we'll move on to something else then. I don't want to keep trying to have us make more of the same things, because that's not as fun as a bunch of people just trying out a bunch of weird shit and maybe, having a one-off film that's just great as it is. And they go, cool, let's move on to something else now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm not gonna lie. For example, I quite enjoy the Godzilla universe, or I don't know how you call that. Is it Godzilla universe?
Big monster universe.
Yeah, that's monster. Yeah.
Yes. I enjoy that, but I enjoy that not because of the story, because let's be honest, the story is like.
No, you're not there for the story.
Yeah,
everybody just wants to see the big lizard man get beat up by the big monkey.
That's it. And let's be honest, they're doing that great. Like, come on, the visuals on all these movies are just freaking spot on. But like, I don't know. I
haven't seen it.
Good. I like.
People said it was really good. I was like,
it is really good. It is, and I don't know if I like. I think I agree that I don't think it can be done on the same level as Marvel is doing it, mostly because it took years of planning to build this up, and they basically took a huge risk at the beginning and were like, okay, let's start with Iron Man, who at the time, unless you were a Marvel fan, it was just like, who's Iron Man?
Yeah,
to be
and
fair, like
the other thing was
heard
that
a lot of friends.
They cast Robert Downey Jr. as him, which at the time was like, this guy, the guy who was just in rehab and like went to jail and all this sort of stuff. It's like, you cast that guy as and then you know what? It rebuilt his entire career.
Yeah.
It did. It saved him. Yeah. Let's be fair.
And he really was the perfect
It's
choice.
like he was. Come on, he's Iron Man, easily. And I love that's why I love TikTok, because I discover stories on there that are just warming your heart. Like, I heard so many good stories about Robert lately, where people are like, he's the nicest person ever. Like, one guy told the story that he came into the shop where he was working, and the guy complimented him like, oh my god, I really, really love your jacket. And then he helped Robert to pick up the Christmas gifts, and obviously they took it out to the car, and then Robert just took off the jacket and gave it to him. And I'm like,
that's some Keanu shit. Have you heard the story? There's a story I saw on Tumblr a couple of times of this guy who was like, he used to work in a cinema, and he was like, he tried to get him to like sign something because he just wanted his autograph, but he felt a bit awkward about just like, because he was working at the cinema. So he tried to get him to sign something, and he I can't remember exactly what it was, and he just sort of went. He kind of passed on it and then sort of left, and then he came back a little bit later, bought an ice cream. I think he maybe was trying to get him to sign the receipt or something. He came back later, bought an ice cream, and then signed like the receipt, and then threw the ice cream away because he realized that the guy wanted an autograph. He just came back and wanted like, here you go. I'm
great.
That story completely.
So nice,
it's much better written. Keanu's one of those dudes.
We got the point. It's amazing. I loved, and I love the actors that they choose. Like, I don't think I ever felt like that they made the wrong decision with someone.
No, you're right.
Like,
No one ever felt
I
out of
think so
place to
far
me.
they did a great job.
It's
Yeah,
some pretty
it's
spectacular
like,
casting.
you know, like, oh my god, yes. This year especially, obviously WandaVision is ending, which is very sad. I'm not gonna lie. I never thought that I'm gonna be this attached to this series, but it's like, I feel for Wanda so much. It's her story just breaks my heart on a whole new level,
Yeah.
and they did some amazing things in this series. It's just like, honestly, all my respect to them. It's really, really good. But then we're gonna get we have to wait 2 weeks, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier is coming in, which is like, come
Yep.
on.
Yep.
if you watch anything on YouTube, watch Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan being idiots on interviews. It's just, come on, you just know that they can work so well together. Like, I love the little bits and pieces in Civil War, you know, like this small scenes where they were together, and you already just like, I love you guys. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
I think what I appreciate about Marvel is the fact that they actually, despite the fact they've got all of this success and they could keep doing the same things, and they did for a little bit. Like, I think phase 2 of the MCU was a little bit of like a rehashing of some of the other stuff that they did when they started bringing in like especially Ant-Man, which still breaks my fucking heart.
For a different reason, mostly.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you got like the sequel stuff, so when you got Thor 2 came in, and then there was like a period where they had a couple of like sort of slightly lamer duck ones. Like Iron Man 2 wasn't as good as Fast Iron Man, and you know, that sort of thing. But they have attempted to make some kind of like, there seems to be a genuine commitment to story over just like, how can we make money?
Yeah.
Is like appreciated, because it means that we actually get content that people enjoy, which means that they can keep making stuff and being successful. It's almost like it's a good business model to care about the things that you're making.
What?
It's weird, that.
Sorry, what?
What?
Wild. But it means that we get to, they go, okay, so we've done these 23 movies, completely finished this massive story that we spent 10 years building. Now we're going to make this really weird little TV show in which the main themes are depression, grief, and just mental health stuff. And also it's going to look like a bunch of sitcoms from the 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
And everybody went, yeah, this is good.
Cool. I'm in.
It works.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. I mean, I think there were a lot of skeptics at the beginning with WandaVision.
I was one of them.
I mean, I didn't like the title at all. I remember them being like, why the hell is it called WandaVision? What the hell is that about? They just stuck their names together?
Yes.
But isn't it funny how we go, WandaVision, really? And then the next one's like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, that sounds awesome. You're like, what? It's the same.
No, I wasn't thrilled about Falcon and the Winter Soldier either, to be honest. I was like, it could be a little bit more interesting in your naming conventions, to be honest.
They're just funny what they did for the films, really, aren't they? It's the easiest way to just get it out there. But no, I was the same for WandaVision. It was definitely low on my anticipated Disney Plus shows. I think, Falcon and Winter Soldier will always be number one because Falcon. And then I forget which one after that, but I looked at WandaVision. No, see, not even Loki. Here's the thing: is that Loki's kind of. I'm sorry, I'm going to break both your hearts right now.
Oh no!
But I think for me, I was just after Infinity War. I was like, yeah, cool. Loki's story's finished now. That's very good for me, and that was all I needed.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of finished for me then. And so that when in Endgame he escaped with a Tesseract, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, obviously, I think we already knew that the show was coming at that point, but I was just like, so that's how they're doing it. It's not that. I was kind of like, at least they're not just resurrecting Loki, like they're just using a different Loki, which I thought was. I was like, okay, I'm fine, great. And like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna not watch the show, but I think for me, I was just like, and I think kind of the same for WandaVision as well. It was like, because they weren't really in, obviously they were in the films, but nothing really properly happened with them till Infinity War, and then Infinity War happened. And so, yeah, when they announced a WandaVision show, I was like, but one's dead. The other, I mean, I think at the time of the announcement, Wanda had been blipped. I mean, again, we knew that they were going to come back, but I was just a bit like, are we just resurrecting everyone? Is this what's happening now? Like, is it just a no consequence kind of place? But no, they've found ways around that. And yeah, I mean, as we said, we've sat and we've watched WandaVision now. I think it's really testament to not judging a project until you've actually watched it, which obviously is something that flies around the internet like crazy these days. So
I think it works very much in their favor that they one ended up having to make WandaVision their first thing, because I don't think that was it was going to be Falcon first. I think.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Well, it was going to be Black Widow even first.
Oh yeah,
but
like I still don't even. There's no way I'm going to be convinced by that.
Again, another character who's dead, but we're still.
See, that's the thing about it. I get like Lily had an interesting idea. I don't think it's going to be true at this point, but I just look at Black Widow and I just think this movie should have come out 5 years ago, because I don't care at this point.
It should have been. You should have gotten rid of Iron Man 2, and it should have been Black Widow in phase 1 easily.
Yep.
I've got a video about that if anyone wants to watch it. So.
We will link it.
Yeah, because it's just every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't care about this. She's dead, and I'm like, I don't know. And then somebody said that they're going to be setting up Florence as the new Black Widow, and I was like, okay,
possibly.
Still don't care. No, I had a different point and I've forgotten what it was now. What was I talking about? Oh, I was going to talk about the fact that when it comes to Loki, I remember sitting in the cinema watching Infinity War and seeing him die, and I was like, he's not dead. That would be stupid. They can't just stab him. Don't be ridiculous. My man's the god of trickery. He wouldn't just like try and do some weird, stupid illusion shit and then get himself stabbed immediately, right? Apparently so.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. That's when you knew that Infinity War is not gonna joke around. Like,
I still didn't believe it. Like the whole way through Infinity War, I was like, nah, my man can't be dead.
But I mean, just like what a way to just like we finally have Thanos like properly in the flesh, and the way to bring it in is for him to kill Heimdall, kill Loki, beat down the Hulk, and leave Thor powerless during all of that. After we've seen Thor literally just fully unlock his power.
And
you're like the first like 10 minutes of Infinity War, you're like, okay, right, well, this is going to be fun then.
I think the thing that just gets me is that it after all of this, because I just love the character development that we had for him, because he went from this like completely broken down person to being kind of molded into this villain to kind of having a redemption arc, which was great. Because like I still think Taika Waititi is really the only person who absolutely nailed him as the character that I thought he was meant to be. From like all the other stuff that we had beforehand, I'm like, no, that's who he was always meant to be, that version of him that they put into Ragnarok. And then to just have him, it's the fact that he dies so easily. I wouldn't be mad if he died in Infinity War. I just think that the way it happened, it didn't satisfy anything in me. It didn't make me go, oh, this guy must be something to be reckoned with, because I didn't feel like Loki did enough to actually feel like it was like a challenge that he was up against. Like it felt like it didn't hit the punch properly, and I was just, which is why afterwards I was like, I can't be dead. That's not a death befitting Loki.
I think the punch in there is that he's basically doing it to save Thor.
Yeah, I just feel like there maybe should have been like an extra level of something trickstery.
He knew because let's be honest, Loki had a history with Thanos, so he knew that he probably doesn't stand a chance against him. And I think what made his death in there beautiful is that he did everything for the Hulk to get down to Earth and to save his brother, which is like it's heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, every time I think about it, it's like, oh god damn it.
It's
so
there's just like a smidgen or something of like it to be more difficult, you know. I
kind of get what you mean.
There's something like a slightly more surmounted, where it was like you actually believe that the plan he's gonna try and enact might work, and then he gets killed. Like so that it makes Thanos seem even more insurmountable, right? It just didn't. It was like it didn't seem like good enough of a plan.
I kind of get what you mean, and like we always want. I guess it's kind of wanting that big heroic death for a character that we love. And I think why it on the on contrary to what you're saying, why it worked for me is that maybe was the simplicity of it that actually sometimes it just is shit. And it just happens like that. I don't know. I get what you're saying though, because he had gone through that whole redemption. But I guess also though, maybe to counter myself about being like, oh, his story's finished, why do we need him back again? I suppose it's kind of also nice that there's a chance for him to maybe go. I mean, might be a bit tiresome if he goes through the whole journey again, but that redemption doesn't necessarily always have to mean death. As so many projects.
The only thing that I want. I want an actual redemption arc.
I know.
Somebody interesting.
Someone who redeems themselves but doesn't have to die.
Doesn't die immediately after doing one heroic act. I'm looking at you, nice. Star Wars. I am looking at you.
We all do.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm interested in Loki, to be honest. I want to see, I want to be able to see the actual, mischief maker and not the bad guy, the sort of morally gray character, and not the sort of the
out and out,
just out and out villain. The guy who just does things because fuck it,
because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess that's what we'll get in Loki. Don't won't we? Though from the trailer, it feels like we'll get a bit more of that.
Yeah, definitely. Also, there are already theories that I love that people are immediately jumping onto other shows that didn't even come out, and we don't really know anything about them. I heard that someone already is saying that Owen Wilson is gonna be Mephisto, and I'm like,
that's
why?
Hey, look. This podcast is coming out after WandaVision, and I'm just going to give two different reactions. Ha! Mephisto was never there. Woo! All right, yeah. Well done, guys. You correctly guessed Mephisto was going to be in that show. Bravo. There we are.
I like those reactions.
Who knows which one of those reactions is gonna stick?
I'm staying with my original theory for WandaVision. And I still believe that Hayward is bringing back Ultron, and
yeah, everyone's saying that. Everyone's trying to link it to the cartoon, aren't they? The Avengers Assemble cartoon, where Ultron disguises himself as a higher up. In I don't know if it's in Shield or Sword in there. I can't remember.
I think it's. I
just got some water trapped in my throat. That's never a good idea.
Oh no,
it's meant to go.
Yeah, I think it's because I tried to continue talking while swallowing water, which, we've already established that I'm 30 in May, and I can't. I've still not figured out that you can't swallow and talk at the same time. So, how have I survived a pandemic this long?
What are the movies that are coming out? I can't actually remember at this point.
So there's Black Widow.
Shang-Chi.
Yes, that's the only one I can actually remember at the moment.
And then
the
Eternals.
Yes. Eternals, which is like
Doctor Strange too.
I can't wait.
Right.
And then
Thor
Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man.
4.
Spider-Man 3. 4.
When is Venom 2?
Really?
I don't know,
really? Really?
I want to see more Tom Hardy being batshit.
Jumping into restaurant tanks and eating.
Let him be insane.
That's the best scene.
It was funny. It
was really funny. Come on.
Listen, Tom Hardy was the only person in that movie who understood what kind of movie they were making.
I still remember his interview where he's like, if they wouldn't have got out an hour from the movie, you would have a completely different movie. And I'm like, you see, that's the movie I want to see.
But I mean, doesn't that go for any film?
Yeah, it's like, but I think it was basically
the
because it was like
being it might have been a better movie.
Yes, yeah. It's like it would have been R-rated, and then I think they just got scared, and then just changed it into PG.
But to be honest, like
to fit into.
It was only really the last 20 minutes for me of that film that. Well, I say that. I mean, kind of the last 20 minutes, but also kind of this one little plot line that ran through the whole film. You know how they kind of set up that the symbiotes can only attach to specific people, and then the whole convenience of the plot is led by the fact that Riot can attach to all these different people to get to America, and then also the fact that Venom then attaches to the dog, to Tom Hardy's love interest,
Michelle Williams' character, whose name I can't remember.
Thank you, Michelle Williams' character. Yeah.
Yes.
Like the fact that the Venom can attach to then all these people, and like it was supposed to be unique that it attached to Eddie Brock. Ugh.
Listen, I'm not saying this movie was any good. It wasn't, but it was batshit, and I loved it.
No, but there were parts of it that were like I was sat there like I'm actually pleasantly surprised with what's happening here.
Great time watching it.
It was just then the fact that what they established they then broke. That's what annoyed me.
Like I watched the whole thing like this plot doesn't make any fucking sense. Am I having a great time? Yes.
Yeah, because who doesn't want to see Venom just chew up people, you know?
No, who doesn't want to see Tom Hardy and somehow miraculously flirt with himself and make it really interesting?
That was just magical, like
because I was sitting there going, man, the chemistry he's got with like the voice of Venom is great. I wonder who does that. Oh, it's Tom Hardy. I should have known.
I mean, of course Tom Hardy can flirt so well with Tom Hardy.
Well, obviously. The only reason I am excited for Venom 2 is that because Andy Serkis is directing it, and I have faith in Andy Serkis on every level.
I just hope that they don't take out the completely batshit sort of insane elements that made the actual first Venom fun to watch. Because if they make it too serious, then it's like you've ruined it. The best things about
especially like Woody Harrelson's definitely going to come back as Carnage as well, right? Because there's even more license to go batshit insane crazy because Woody Harrelson can do
Woody
that.
Harrelson.
He is the guy you hire to do that, especially as Carnage as well. Like,
oh my god,
he's the perfect choice. Like, let's be honest, he's the perfect choice. I am kind of disappointed that they delayed Morbius again, because. Everyone, if you don't know, I like Jared Leto. Okay, I'm that person who likes him, and I was interested to see Morbius, especially because there's that tease that it connects to the Marvel universe. So
I think that's what I'm like most interested about it for, is to see how they do that, and if they do go full, hey, let's finally have a Sinister Six on film.
That could be fun.
Yeah, because Sinister Six in the 90s cartoon was always great.
Oh my god, yes.
Spider-Man PS4. It was
that's
so
what I was
good.
thinking about because it was so good.
So much fun in there.
So good.
Like you know, having the double fights with the Vulture Electro fight in Spider-Man PS4. So good. So good.
It's been a while since I've played through the whole thing.
Was so good.
But it was. I just remember having a lot of fun playing that game. That was a game that really took me by surprise with how much like it emotionally gut punched me.
Yeah, right.
I really got me at the end there.
Two big moments that we can speak spoilers.
Sorry, this game's been out for like 3 years at this point. It's the end part where he's facing up against Doc Ock. And he's like so disappointed and like upset with the fact that this has happened, and then obviously the death of Aunt May. Both of those moments, I was like,
that was like,
I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. I think the Doc Ock moment got me more initially, but but then I think because I was already on that path, that then when Aunt May came along, it was just like
I'm out.
Yeah. And then also because I made sure that I got all the PlayStation trophies.
Yes.
When I saw the final trophy I was like, I couldn't figure out what the last one was, or I couldn't figure out some of the last few. So I looked them up, and then I saw one of them was visit
her grave,
Venom May Parker's graves, and I was like, why are you going to do that to me? Why are you going to do that to me?
Why are you going to do that? Why are you going to be like this?
Why?
It's like playing Red Dead 2 and one of the trophies is you have to go back and find all of the graves of your dead compatriots, and it's like, cool, thanks for that, guys.
Thanks, kids.
And then they bring out Miles Morales, and
I haven't finished Miles Morales.
Wait. I'm going to call no spoilers on that one because
I haven't finished Miles Morales.
You haven't finished it?
No. I've not even got it yet.
No, I haven't finished it.
That one's not been out long enough. All right.
I started it and I played most of it, and then I put it down and I haven't gone back to it yet.
Look, if you want to know how behind I am in games, I'm only just about to finish Shadow of Mordor. Okay, that's how far behind I am.
You know, I played Shadow of Mordor, and then I started the second one. I can't remember the name of now, and I only played about a couple of hours of it, and I didn't finish. Not because it was bad; it was just another one that I put down, and other things took precedence.
It was hard to get into Shadow of Mordor. It took me a while. I think because it just. Yeah, but once I got in it, I was like
it's fun.
I'm hoping I'm playing to 100% completion, not trophies, but in-game stuff. So that's why it's kind of also taken me a while before I finish it as well. Also because then I picked up Pokemon Sword a year later as well, and so I was like, I've got to play through Pokemon Sword as well. So yeah.
There's one thing from the Spider-Man PS4 that I know that a lot of people really want to keep going with, like the Miles Morales stuff, which obviously, yes, but also the one thing that kind of makes me want to have more Peter Parker stuff was the end of Spider-Man PS4 when you find out that Harry is not in fact in Europe.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. Where's that DLC?
Actually,
I'm saying where's that DLC? I've not finished the Spider-Man PS4 DLCs yet. I've got one.
Those I did play. They don't tell you anything about Harry.
No. I didn't figure, but yeah.
That's the thing I want that information about what's going on with Harry. Are we getting Green Goblin stuff? What's happening here?
Yeah.
I think they already announced it that there's going to be a Spider-Man game with Peter. Like there's going to be a continuation.
I don't know the specifics. I don't think that they've announced anything. I think the last thing that they said was the last thing they announced was Miles Morales. That was the last official thing that PlayStation announced.
Yeah, but that was something after Miles Morales came out that what was it that them being together doesn't mean that they always going to be together or something like that. And they heavily implied that they're going to go on with the Peter Parker story as well, which is like, both can work brilliantly. Like the Miles Morales game as well was just...
I had a lot of fun playing the bits that I have played. I wonder if because like a lot of people are like, it's spectacular, and I really liked playing it, but at the same time I wasn't completely blown away by it, and I'm wondering if the end is going to make me change my mind about that.
Yep.
Is it shorter than Peter Parker though, right?
Short,
yeah.
It broke my heart.
That's a shame, but
interesting.
I cried.
I tell you what, this isn't a spoiler, as promised, but there's a character in the game who's like Miles's best friend, and she popped up, and I was sitting there looking at her for ages, like I recognize her damn face. Where do I know her from? It took me freaking ages. I had to Google it. And she was in the second season of The Leftovers, and I was like, oh my god, it's Evie! I finally like it's her face, which is why I was sitting there going, it's really bugging me that I can't figure out who you are. Like I know your face. And eventually I had I think it was because she popped up on my Twitter feed as well. I was like, oh, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I should have known that.
It happens, Katie. It happens. Sometimes you don't recognize people. Sometimes, like even when they right in front of you on the street, you're like, okay.
Oh my gosh! How many times do you love it when you just you see someone and you're like waving, and then you're like,
not you,
2 inches from their face, and you're like, hi.
And they finally realize that it's you, and they're like, oh, hello. They're like, fucking.
I'm like basically
maybe
face blind in some ways. Like people,
me too.
I can recognize people if I've met them before, but if somebody was like, "Hey, do you know this person?" They'll describe them to me, and I'm like, this means nothing to me. You could be describing a person's like features and what they look like, and I'll be like, "Nope, you're gonna I can't picture anybody's faces."
I can kind of see it already. When Comic-Con is back open and we're all there to go enjoy Comic-Con and see Lily stand.
Yes.
That you're gonna be there, and I'm gonna turn up, tap you on the shoulder. You're gonna turn around and you go, "Huh?" I go, "Hi, it's me,
I'm
the
not
guy
that
that's
bad.
been on your
promise,
podcast."
I'm not that bad. If I see you, as I know your face, that we've talked together multiple times, I would recognize you. But it's like if my friends will occasionally like describe people we went to school with, right? And I'll be like, I literally have no idea who this person is. I'm just like, no, this means nothing to me. Give me a picture and I might recognize them. But like, if you try to describe somebody and like get me to picture them, I'm like, this means nothing. I got nothing. Like, I can't actually remember any. Or like,
to be honest,
the
it
other
probably
way
doesn't
around,
also help when people go, yeah, no, yeah, they had brown eyes, they had black hair, they and you're like, yeah, okay, that's limited down to 5 people, so yeah.
It's like that.
I mean, I say 5 sarcastically. Of course, it's not limited down to 5, but
like every so often, then you get somebody like, especially when it comes to people we went to school with, they'll be like, "Here's a picture of them now," and I'll look at them and I'll be like, "I've never seen this person before in my life." And you're like, "You went to school with them for like 5 years," and I'm like, "Not a clue." Did I ever interact with this person? I don't think so. I'm like, "You had classes with them." Like, did I?
You're lying.
I don't know. My best experience with that, like, just, I literally bumped into this person when I was working at the pub. And, I was collecting the glasses outside. Elliott was, in the pub. He knows how it looks like. So I'm collecting the glasses outside. And then I'm just in my own little words, as always. But I have to collect glasses because it's not fun. Let me tell you, it's not fun. And then I'm just walking. And then suddenly I bump into someone. But, like, this someone is really strong. Like, you can tell from the bumping. Like, oh, what is this? Is this an iron wall or what is this? And I look up and I literally went. I looked up. I went, "Oh, sorry. What?" And I had to stop. And he was like, "Shh." And who it was? It was Tom freaking Hardy. And I was like, "What the fuck happened?"
Brilliant.
I was in shock for the whole day. Like, I literally ran back into the pub and I was like, guys, I just bumped into Tom Hardy. And Lily, did you drink something?
Oh, no, he was right there.
Was him.
Honest.
It was right outside. Oh my god, it was fun, but it's like anything can happen in London. I now know that. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I will say
weird.
Even like an obscene amount of times where I've had to talk to like friends of my mum's who I know I've met before, and I'll be there sitting there like nodding and having like a polite conversation. Me going, "I don't remember your name. I have no idea what you're called. Yes. Well, I don't know what your name is. I really hope that I don't have to say anything about your name." I don't remember your kid's name.
I went on my daily walk. This was 2 weekends ago, going on my daily walk, and I can walk to Limehouse in like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And it was a nice sunny day. Walked up to Limehouse, sort of circled round a bit, and walked past Ian McKellen's pub, The Grapes, which, if you haven't been, when it reopens, it's just a really nice little, if you want a nice little quiet pub to sit in on a Sunday afternoon and not worry about anything, it's great. Anyway, as we were sort of turning around to leave, we saw a guy opposite sat on a bench, and he looked a bit down, looked a bit troubled. And I kind of looked over, and he had a mask on. Looked over, I was like, that could be Ian McKellen. Like, he had a hat on, and there was grey hair coming out the side, and his grey eyebrows. And I was like, that could be. I was like, nah, I'm not going to just like tap on the shoulder of some random person. And then I saw his trainers. His trainers were like real bright coloured trainers, like Ian McKellen sometimes wears. I was like, oh, that could be. Anyway, carried on walking. And I sort of turned to Jeannie, my girlfriend. I was like, I think that was just Ian McKellen. She was like, right? Because did you see his hat? I was like, no, I didn't see his hat. She said, his hat said Hamlet on it. And I was like, and he had these trainers, and he had grey eyebrows. And she's like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, well, he was wearing a mask. I couldn't tell. But we were like, that must have been, just sat outside. And I was like, he also just looked really sad because he sat outside his pub, which obviously can't be open. So I don't really want to. And then my sister, who we live with, she was with us as well. And she was like, so you saw some old man upset, sat on a bench, and you didn't go and make sure he was okay.
No, this is Britain.
A, it's Britain, and B, it's Ian McKellen. What am I going to... Hey, are you okay, dude? You all right?
Oh my God, it's just
we
so
leave
awesome.
people alone in this country.
Like, oh come on. The other experience I had in the pub is when Charles Dance came in, and at first I didn't even recognize him. He was very familiar. I was like, I think I know this man. And then he came back. He ordered again. I always said it's so weird for me. He ordered the tomato juice, and then he ordered a coffee with it, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Which is he using to wash down the other?
Okay.
Which is he using to wash down the other?
I'm gonna take the coffee out for you. Yeah. It's so weird. And I told him that he doesn't have to wait for the coffee. I'm gonna take it out to him. And he was like, oh, thank you, you're very lovely, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I swear I know this man. And I looked it up on Google while I was making his coffee, and I was like, this is Charles Dance. I'm not tripping, this is him. So I went out. I was like, here's your coffee. Sir, can I ask you something? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, are you Charles Dance? And he was like, sometimes. So he was so
Great.
nice, and
Great.
I went full crazy, which I thought that I can just control, but I obviously cannot. And it was a really hot summer day. I had shorts on, and you could see my Game of Thrones tattoo on my thighs, and I was like, look, Charles Dance, I have a Game of Thrones tattoo on my thighs. Do you want to see it up close? But he was very polite. But when he left, I think he thought that, oh my God, this girl was crazy.
Bravo.
And I think I was.
Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my best performance, I think. But anyway, let's go back to Marvel movies because we heavily went down the
Well, we're over the hour mark at this
I'm...
point. I'm wondering if do you want to like wrap it up, or is there anything else that like folks want to
before we wrap
about?
it up, I'm gonna ask your favorite character and then your favorite Marvel movie.
Okay. I think I've already said who my favorite character is, but we'll say it again because you've asked, and that's what we do. Yeah. Falcon, Sam Wilson. He's always been my favorite. So yeah, my excitement levels for Falcon Winter Soldier are insane. And then along with that, my favorite film is Civil War, which I guess is the film other than Winter Soldier he features most heavily in. So yeah. So I'm all excited for Falcon Winter Soldier, and as you know, I cosplay Falcon as well. Like it's kind of extended that far. I think it was the first. Yeah. Well,
no, I'm just saying that you got to the point with your cosplay that it's like you just keep evolving it, and I love it. Like I remember the first time you did it, and then the last week we went to, it was just like you put so much work into it, and it showed. It was like, oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, and there's more work I want to do. There's I actually started work last year to add something, but then obviously everything got cancelled, so I actually started. And actually, at the stage I was at, I wasn't quite happy with it, so I don't mind that I might need to start again on that. But there's also, now that I am living with my sister, who is very good with building fashion stuff. Actually, my Lando cosplay, she made the yellow shirt for my Donald Glover Lando cosplay. Nice. So she's that kind of great. But she has a mannequin that I will be able to probably build a better suit of armor, because I have something to actually pin it up on, provided she lets me use it, of course. There's also that hurdle I still need to cross.
Yes.
But yes, no, because whereas I was happy with my last cosplay, I was really happy with the pack on the back. The wings were okay. The front armor I wasn't as happy with. And so now I'll have a way that I don't know. When I get there, when it gets to having to build it again, I will get on it with a new joie de vivre, and hopefully it will be Falcon Mark 4 for me by October. I think October will be the first con I go to. I might go to July. I'm not sure yet. But otherwise, I'll be looking for MCM mainly. But
Which is understandable.
yes. Yeah. Hopefully then Mark 4 will be ready and it will be very, very good.
I bet it would be. Katie, what about you?
Well, for the folks at home, I'm gesturing to my background, which is of Loki. Because I was really obsessed with the Avengers movie when it came out. Now I'm a little bit like, I mean, the movie is still good, but Joss Whedon can go into a hole and stay there. But I really loved the movie when it came out, and I just got really attached to Loki as a character, which is why I say that Taika Waititi, the only person who understood Loki properly. Really
That's
is.
very true.
But I think the movie, I love Iron Man 3 so much.
I know you do.
I love Iron Man 3, and it gets, people give it a bad rep, which it doesn't deserve because it's hilarious. And it
like
goes goes really interestingly into Tony's PTSD and his anxiety, and it's just like it's got like the jokes in it are like one of those things where it's like, that's my sense of humor right there. Things like him,
it works,
popping up over a thing, like, I'm gonna take a look. What did you see? I don't know, we're going too fast. Didn't see anything. I'm like, dude, it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I like that.
What about you, Lily?
I think it's,
I know. I reckon I can.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah.
It's, it's the captain.
It's the captain. Okay.
Yes.
I would have thought Bucky, but
well, to be fair, both of them. I like. I'm always simping for. I hate that word, by the way. This simp word. It's just like
I hate it,
I don't know
but
why
I very naturally said it mid-sentence as if I use it on a daily, but I hate it.
I really hate that word. I don't know why I said it.
I told you I'm going to pick up on those things. I told you I'm going to pick up on those things.
Oh God, I really like.
Thank you.
Friendships in movies when they portrayed well, and I love the portrayal of Steve and Bucky's friendship, and I wish that we would have seen more. That's what I meant. So that's why I basically I love Bucky and the captain on the same level, but obviously the captain is Chris Evans, and it's Chris Evans. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. I love Chris Evans. I love him since I was 11. Come on, it's a long-term crush, and it's still going strong. And then my favorite movie is The Winter Soldier, because I honestly think that's a cinematic masterpiece to this day. Like that was the first time that the Russo brothers came in to direct for Marvel, and I'm just putting my hands together because, come on, we got the best stuff from them. I'm just gonna say this out loud.
And they introduced the best character as well in Falcon, so yeah, makes sense.
Yep, indeed. That's true. That's true. That's where we met with Falcon. So Falcon is awesome. And I can probably cosplay as Darcy.
Oh my gosh, she'd make a great Darcy cosplay. If you can like find a way of getting her little circus outfit from WandaVision.
Oh, that was great.
Just so you've got something nice and bright and colourful as well. That'd be awesome.
I love that outfit. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
so good.
Oh my God, that's so good. So I will try and get it. But if I could cosplay as someone, I would really like to cosplay as Captain Marvel. Because I just really like how she looks. So maybe one day. I still need to work on the body for that, but
Nah, it's cosplay. You don't need to worry about those kind of things with cosplay.
That's true.
I'm gonna
I don't know.
Slide in and be the contrarian and say that if I didn't pick Loki, I would have picked Tony Stark. Because I loved Iron Man so much. I was far more of an Iron Man person than I was for. I really just like the Iron Man movies like a little bit more than I got on with the Captain America ones. I like Captain America a lot. He's just not my guy.
Yeah, I remember now. You are hating on my captain.
Again. I never said I was hating on Captain America. I like him fine. I just love Tony Stark so much.
Wait a second.
well.
Important question.
We know where we all stand on Civil War, then, don't we?
Yes, that's the important question. Katie, do you dare say it out loud?
I don't know.
Whose side are you on?
I was on nobody's side in that movie. I was like, you guys are both
You can't. You can't do
I mean,
that.
I feel I can hardly like talk right now and say I was Team Cap when I'm sat here Black Panther on, who was Team Iron Man in the film. So
I don't know. The whole thing in that, I don't
Reject.
think I ever actually formed an opinion in that movie. I was Team, you guys need to sit down and make up.
I mean, it would have been an interesting movie for sure. Just them sitting down and be like,
I knew it wasn't going to happen. But watching that whole sequence at the end, it wasn't like I'm rooting for one person or the other. I'm just sitting there going, this is just heartbreaking. Like none of this is like good in either way. I'm just sad.
Oh, the ending of Civil War is just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And, like from the moment where Black Panther is talking to, what was his name? Oh my god,
Zemo.
It's the sick. Thank you. It's the sickness. I promise. I love that scene between them so much. I think it's beautifully done. And then Captain Spock's and Iron Man's fight. It's just like, please don't. Just why are you doing
I'll
this?
say that I understand where Tony's coming from.
Yes,
put it that way.
I think we all understand him in that moment. And I'm also gonna say I will. Yeah, I will just say that I also love Far From Home. I already established that in a previous episode, but I love Far From Home, and I am really looking forward to
I've only
see
watched it once. It released too soon. Yes, I did. Yeah, it just released too soon for me. Do you know what I mean?
What do you
like
mean?
we had Endgame like 2 months previous.
Yes.
And then that was obviously such a finish point. I could have waited till the next year for Far From Home, or at least till Christmas or the next year.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man is going to be a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Did we see this?
Yeah.
I'm like,
officially.
I saw the release date. I was like, December, eh? I guess Spider-Man's now a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Along with Iron Man 3.
Yep,
True,
it's true. You're
true.
absolutely correct.
That's very true.
I know my Christmas films. Okay, Die Hard is the first one on.
Oh, let's not get into that conversation.
No, I need to watch Far From Home again. It's been a while. I
love Far From Home.
I just like the concept that they played with in that movie, and I'm very excited to see what the hell happens in the last one.
Yes. Well, I'm still putting my heads together and praying that it's not going to be the last one, and they can struck some kind of deal again. I hope. I don't want to lose Tom Holland just yet. As Spider-Man.
No, but I would have been more mad if they hadn't reached the deal that they made to make this movie.
That's
like
true.
if this ends up being the last one and they kind of tie everything up, I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't. I mean, I would like to see more movies with Tom Holland being Spider-Man, but I feel like at that point it's not such a case of they can't get Tom Holland back anymore. It's more a case of these will just be movies that Sony make and they're not anything to do with the MCU. That would be probably that. But then they reach. It's a whole complicated issue when it comes to
we'll
the whole
see.
thing.
We will wait and see what they will do.
Yeah, we're not losing Tom Holland. Apparently, he's even said, "Look, if they want me to make 10 Spider-Man films, I'll do it." So, supposedly, what he said. I mean, we'll see what happens when he gets to number 6.
Boy is busy. I think he needs a break.
Busy.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's taking a break now. Actually, after he finishes Spider-Man, he's going to take a break, which is
he went straight from Uncharted into Spider-Man. I'm like, boy,
yeah,
I'm going to be tired.
Yeah, as well as having Cherry come out as well, and
I know Chaos Walking as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really count Chaos Walking because that filmed like 4 or 5 years ago already.
Yeah, this is true.
That's true. And it got pretty bad reviews, so. I mean, I'm not surprised we didn't talk about it.
Well.
But
I was going to say, I felt like I saw a review for it the other day, and it was like, "It's fine." Was basically the
it's 22% on
it.
Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not great. It's not looking great.
Polygon said,
I mean that
it's good. Which is nice.
I'm gonna watch it because I loved books very dearly, so I will definitely watch it. But I am very worried.
But I'm just saying, I called it. Pretty much instantly. You were like, "No, it's gonna be good." And I'm like, "No, it's not."
No.
You did call it. Anyway, we will sit down tomorrow and watch it because that's when it's gonna come out. And I
So much
will
to watch
say
tomorrow.
so much to watch. Tomorrow is gonna be like madness. I mean,
We've
I
got
cannot wait for
WandaVision as
Raya.
well. We got Raya as well. Yeah.
Raya, yeah. I cannot wait to watch that. Like, honestly, I made the mistake and I watched the second trailer. That was like the extended trailer, and I wish I wouldn't have done that. But I am now more hyped than ever to watch that movie. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for tomorrow. It's WandaVision, it's Raya, and then it's Chaos Walking as well. And I'm like, please come in Friday. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry at WandaVision. I can already see that happening. No matter what, it's just gonna be like. And before we close it down, I will also say that I am very, very, very much so looking forward to see the Eternals, which is going to be a completely new entry to the MCU, and it has my biggest idol, Angelina Jolie, stepping into the MCU, and I'm like,
yeah.
When they announced her, I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I was like, she's coming in.
You're excited about
like that.
Angelina Jolie. I'm just excited to see Kumail Nanjiani, who I just love so much.
Nice.
Yes.
And
oh
I'm excited for Lauren Ridloff, who has been great in The Walking Dead, and now I can't wait to see her in the MCU. So
yes, that's very true.
We all have someone to look out for, which is great.
Indeed. Elliott, please tell our listeners and watchers where they can find you on the socials, and then we're gonna say goodbye afterwards.
So if you want to follow the YouTube channel, you can find me at Hakuna MaChatter on Twitter, Instagram. You can find me on YouTube as well. And if you'd like to follow me, even though I'm not really as active on my own socials, but if you do wish to, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Elliott B. Elliott, as you can see on the screen, as 2 L's, 2 T's.
Excellent. Thank you for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you. And then hopefully we're gonna do another collabs with you. Like, come on.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we have.
I mean, it'd be great to have you guys come back over for your weekend watch list again as well. Yeah, because that was never a one-time offer. So, and I think actually I don't have any people locked in after this week, so maybe we should chat.
Maybe I should watch something interesting.
Maybe you should.
So I can actually recommend something interesting.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for watching and listening again. We stepped over the 1 hour mark. Sorry, Tom. It happens. It's MCU. We can't help it. And we also had other conversations going as well, so it's fine. And take care, guys, and just don't get a cold. It sucks. I hate having a cold. It's so and just take care. There's still a pandemic. I know there are vaccines, but still, just the mask and everything. And we love you.
Godspeed, kids.